All right, welcome back to Bleck and AZ's Fantasy Hour. This week's episode, we're going to be going over one of my favorite things to look at in the offseason, some awards. Unfortunately, it's something that you can't bet on here in New York State. It's still fun to look, and for those of you that like to make the trip out of state to get those bets in the offseason, it's something to consider and something to think about. And it's just fun to see how the Vegas and the NFL view some players moving into this season.
Myself personally, something that I don't really look much into in the off season, but
it's a good barometer of
sure.
expectations for certain players and stuff like that, and just kind of seeing the differences. It's interesting.
Nobody knows more than Vegas, so it's always nice to kind of get a little look at what they're thinking.
Yeah, they got math and algorithms and whatnot, AI, getting all that stuff done. Starting off with the biggest award, MVP. Last year's MVP, Matthew Stafford, definitely wasn't a favorite going into the season. Every season, it's kind of the same few guys that are at the top of the list, and it will be for the next X amount of years. That being said, the favorite this year is Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And probably should be, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, knowing that Pat Mahomes
bias aside,
knowing that Pat Mahomes is usually in this conversation and that he's coming off that major injury, it really kind of takes one horse out of like what's been like a 3-horse race of just Josh, Lamar, and Pat.
Pretty much every year, yeah. I think what gives Josh the biggest advantage, I mean, it's a slight edge, but really what gives him the biggest advantage is I think that he has less to work with around him, you know what I mean? Or at least that's like kind of like the perception from the general just like consensus around the league and the fan bases as well. We do have DJ Moore now, and James Cook, again, is undervalued. He is a great player, led the league in rushing.
But no Derrick Henry.
He's not thought of as in the same light as like Derrick Henry and some of these other guys, though, for sure.
Yeah.
And plus Josh's rushing touchdowns. I mean, 14 rushing touchdowns last year, 15 the year before.
Yeah.
It just gives him such a high upside.
For sure.
Yeah, he really can carry the offense and has been carrying the offense, and he'll be an MVP favorite every year that he's playing for the Bills, I would imagine, at least the next like 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah, especially still while he has the dual threat capacity, he still does, and we expect that to continue for another 3 years. I don't know. Like, it's kind of tough now that he's over 30, but there's no sign right now that the wheels are coming off.
I don't think so at all. Yeah. He's plus 600 right now, and then we got Lamar Jackson second at plus 700, and I think that's fair. A 2-time MVP. You could argue it could be 3-time MVP.
Kind of a similar situation with Joshua. Like, his crutch has been not really having receivers. I mean, he's had Derrick Henry to support him offensively and a defense that's kind of left a little to be desired too. Not that Buffalo doesn't have the same issues over the last few years, but I mean, one of the notes on the Ravens last year was that they couldn't get to the quarterback for anything. It's why they bolstered it this offseason.
100%.
But now that he's got a little bit of help with that, maybe it allows him to get back onto the field a little quicker, maybe pad some stats a little bit more. I mean, makes perfect sense.
Healthy full season Lamar is going to be in the running every single year.
For sure.
Drake May at third after being runner-up last year. Joe Burrow fourth plus 950. I think that's fair. Joe Burrow is going to be in the running every year. He should be as long as he could stay healthy.
Yeah.
Just given the weapons he has on offense and the numbers he puts up, I wouldn't be surprised if he won one eventually.
Yeah.
It is kind of tough to bet on some of those guys, though, that just can't seem to play a full season.
100%. I was just going to say, a healthy Joe Burrow is 100% in this conversation, but it's been his track record of,
I know, and it's like, it's just, I don't know. I mean, what was last year? He missed like 6 games because of like turf toe or something.
Yeah.
I mean, turf toe sucks, but it's just something that, I don't know, I feel like other guys would play through or could play through in some instances. I mean, everybody gets banged up in the NFL, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's a little different for some other guys. Pat Mahomes. Bias aside. Nah, I don't care about Joe Burrow. Pat Mahomes at fifth plus 1,000. That's probably a good value in my opinion. I mean, I think the only thing you're worried about is how he starts the season off after the torn ACL.
Right.
But
if he starts the season off, how many games he's going to miss coming in.
Basically, everyone's saying he's already throwing, moving around in OTAs. Yeah. I think he's expected to start the season. I think that's good value, and I think that is kind of undervalued right now. He does have some concerns at the wide receiver position with Rashee Rice potentially facing a suspension, Travis Kelce aging, Xavier Worthy hasn't been ideal and has had issues staying on the field. So there are some questions there. They did add Kenneth Walker. That might take some weight off his shoulders.
Yeah.
On the flip side, though, I think having kind of like a weaker wide receiver room does give him more of like,
an advantage in this
yeah, kind of the same way that we talked about Josh Allen. It's
sure.
gonna like make him look a lot better.
For sure.
That's kind of the thing with Joe Burrow too. It's like it's like you threw 4,000 yards and like 35 touchdowns, but it's like
90% of that went to the two guys you're paying the most money on your team.
Two
aside
of the
from
best
Joe
wide
Burrow.
receivers in the NFL. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It doesn't look as impressive when you consider the weapons around.
And not
him.
to mention, Chase Brown is a viable
for sure.
back option too.
100%.
So, fully supported in that offense.
Yeah, moving down the list, Justin Herbert at plus 1,100. I like that one a lot. I wish it was a little more juice, to be honest with you, but
I mean, it makes sense the reasons it's not. His situation is dramatically
right now.
It's dramatically improved over last season. Just like the health of the offensive line alone, bringing in an elite offensive play caller like Mike McDaniel is a huge advantage for him too in this area. So yeah, I mean, I agree. It'd be funner to have a little more juice on it, but I think that's still a price worth taking there at 1,100.
No, I agree. If you want to like kind of just take one of these guys in the middle of the pack here that hasn't won it, I do like Justin Herbert at plus 1,100. I think winning that division would go a long way given what the Broncos and Chiefs have been able to do the past couple of years, and I do think that it's very well within the realm of possibility that the Chargers could win that division.
For sure.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they earn contention for the #1 seed in the AFC, to be honest with you.
They're almost favorites in the West, actually.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah.
Moving down the rest of this top 10 here, Dak Prescott plus 1,200. I like Dak Prescott a lot more than a lot of people, honestly. I think he's a little underrated and honestly more so overhated. Probably wouldn't bet on him, but
I like Herbert at 1,100 a lot more than Prescott at 1,200.
I mean, I agree. I do agree.
It's almost like Prescott falls into like what we just said about Burrow. He's got two elite wide receivers and a running back that is respectable, has put up good numbers in this offense now, and
it's very true.
I don't want to hate on Prescott. I don't want to fall into this overhated umbrella, but I just.
He put up like 4,600 yards and like 30 something. I mean, he had a great team. He was like top 5 in every quarterback.
And he made some guys that you wouldn't ever start on your fantasy team, like Ryan Flournoy, startable guys, at least on a whim.
Yeah, 100%.
But I just think that for the MVP specifically, it's
the national media is never going to give Dak Prescott the MVP.
Right, but his best asset in that way is that he plays for Dallas.
That is true.
So. I mean, it's a little bit of a catch-22. I just don't like putting my money on that.
I also don't like Dallas's defense enough. Like, if you're gonna win MVP, your team has to win a lot more games than expected. Yeah. And I don't see the Cowboys going out there and winning 14 games. To be honest with you.
Well, if they do with that defense.
I mean, if their defense can turn it around, I mean, let's see what Caleb Downs does. I suppose.
True.
Trevor Lawrence at plus 1,600. No, thank you.
I wouldn't like it, but I understand it. It makes a lot of sense for him.
I feel like they peaked last year.
And I agree. But, I mean, coming off of that year, going into this year as, a host betting, site, I can understand why to make him a little appealing. I think that it's a decent situation. He ran for a bunch of touchdowns last year.
He did.
Showed some
I just
value.
don't see that happening again.
No,
either,
I wouldn't expect it. But I will say, having Liam Cohen and showing some flashes of.
I understand why he's here for sure. I do understand why he's here. I can't. Like I said, I think that if he were to have won it, it probably would have been last year. I just think that there's already expectations, and they kind of exceeded expectations last year a little bit, and then they kind of fell off towards the end of the year. And I don't know. I just don't see them even going farther than that personally this year with a healthy Texans defense and
they are not expected
the Colts
to win
looking
that
better,
division.
and even the Titans looking a lot better too as well. Yeah. Jaden Daniels at plus 2,000.
Yeah.
Bleck put a little star here.
Yeah, I like this for value. I mean, he's coming off of an injury, so there's always going to be questions about how he bounces back and gets on the field. But it looks like his track is to start the season, and if he can play the whole season healthy, he's got the dual threat, capacity to put up, I don't want to say double-digit touchdowns on the ground, but maybe 8. And just be super productive both ways. They drafted Antonio Williams, great, in a 3rd-round pick. But they're trying to help Jaden Daniels, but at the same time, his weapons aren't impressive enough to share the credit if they're really successful.
Yeah, third-year quarterbacks taking a leap.
Yeah,
I think that everybody was so high on him after such an impressive rookie season. They went to the NFC Championship game, and then injuries just all around the team just kind of really put a damper on their season last year, and I think that does set them up for a big bounce back year this year, especially just in like the eyes of, like I said, the national media and fan bases, where you don't really know what to expect, and when you don't know what to expect, when you go out there and perform really well and you can exceed expectations, it does put you in a good spot to potentially win an award like the MVP. And I do think a healthy Jaden Daniels, especially with a healthy Terry McLaurin, and like you said, given his dual threat ability and rushing upside, plus 2,000, I really do like that value a lot. Speaking of third-year quarterbacks, can't not talk about Caleb Williams.
Can't not talk about him.
MVP, dark horse for sure. After being announced for the cover of Madden.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That was cool. I did not expect that.
First pair, right?
I would imagine so. Yeah, that sounds about right. I
mean, it could have been Urlacher.
I was thinking like Urlacher or something.
Never
Yeah,
did it. No,
yeah. That's cool. Yeah, good for him. The shot was cool too. It was like a recreation of like Jordan over the Chicago skyline.
Yeah.
It was pretty sick. We got Caleb Williams here in the same realm as Jaden Daniels towards the end of the top 10 here, and I love it, really. I'm surprised he's not higher. I mean, I've been talking about him all year, so maybe that's just me, but I think that a lot of people have too, and seeing him even on the cover of Madden now, it just seems like everybody's talking about Caleb Williams.
Yeah, it's...
First overall pick, they're ascending team. They look great in the playoffs, won a playoff game. They went to overtime with the Rams,
Right. It's kind of funny. Like, I feel like Caleb Williams and Drake May kind of just need to be like swapped in their respect they're given.
Bro.
Like,
I don't understand.
The Patriots are so close to being favorites in the AFC East, and granted, I mean, they just had the Bills in their way, but in the NFC East, in the NFC North, like, the Bears are third favorites to win the division, and it like is very puzzling. Like, I don't quite get it. They won 13 games last year?
Yeah, I think 12, but regardless,
2 seed in the NFC and a very competitive NFC.
Yeah,
made it to the NFC Championship. I just don't understand.
Yeah, the divisional. Yeah,
I am much. I'm much less of a Bears fan than you are, but I am very confused as to why Drake May is getting so much more respect than Caleb Williams in this.
Yeah,
going into the season,
they added some pieces on defense, and like I said, it's just that this is year 2 of Ben Johnson, year 3 of Caleb, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, Kyle Monangai, DeAndre Swift, Colston Loveland. Yeah. They have so many weapons. And Ben Johnson is such a good coach. I think that a lot of people are kind of maybe chalking up some of those games to like fluke, but I don't think, and I agree. The first couple times it did seem fluky, but you don't do 5 or 6 flukes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How many flukes until it's not a fluke? You know what I mean? The team is just clutch.
Yeah,
they are, and that's something that you just can't teach. And they proved it time and time again. And a lot of those games that could have won either way, you can make a case that maybe this year they'll lose those games, or maybe they'll just won't even be close this year.
Yeah, maybe we're misallocating the fluke on Chicago instead of the Patriots or even like the Jags. Like, seriously, the Jags won so many games within like one score as well.
Seriously,
and I think that the Jaguars and the Patriots are far more likely to regress back to the mean than the Bears are. And
I agree.
It feels like the Bears got stronger this offseason without doing a whole ton. Like, all of their skill guys that all of the fantasy heads know, like, they're all the same, but they're all going into year 2 or 3. So, like,
I think Caleb checks all the boxes. Year 3 quarterback, ascending offense, great offensive-minded coach, probably one of the best, if not the best, young offensive-minded coaches right now, early in his coaching career. Luther Burden, ascending player that we'll be talking about a lot, I'm sure, for the rest of the offseason.
Way more than we probably need to.
Colston Loveland, Roman, again, naming all these players. And then just given his rushing upside as well. I think people don't really, when they think of Caleb Williams, they don't think of that.
No.
But he could very easily, and probably did, have like over 500, 600 rushing yards, rushed for like 4, 5, 6 touchdowns. Just insane playmaker, really. I would assume that he will be the first Bears quarterback to ever throw over 4,000 yards this season.
It's
very
so
close
crazy
to it
how
last year.
Low that
I know.
is. It's insane.
For sure. But
even like the Jay Cutler.
I expect him to smash that this season, and just if he can really win that, if they can win that division and put them into that top contention for the NFC again, in a very tough NFC, I think he will be very well considered for the award. I'm actually going to Chicago next week for a little vacation, and
where better to place that bet?
Yeah, I looked it up in Illinois that you can bet on some NFL awards, so I will definitely be sprinkling some action on Caleb Williams MVP while I'm there. Have to. There are a couple other guys we want to touch on as far as MVP goes before we move on to some of these other awards. The guys that probably won't win it, but I think it's fun to talk about, are non-quarterbacks that could potentially win MVP. And if you're a betting man, or a sicko, as I like to call them, some of these guys have some crazy heavy juice. Plus 9,000, plus 10,000, plus 15,000. Crazy odds.
There's a reason for it.
And there's a reason for it. The last MVP that wasn't a quarterback was Adrian Peterson in 2009, I believe.
I think it was 12, but then 2006 and 5 had LaDainian Tomlinson and Sean Alexander.
Okay.
So there have been like 3 non-quarterbacks, all running backs, in the last 22 years.
Yeah. And then it does take a very specific set of circumstances for a non-quarterback to win MVP, which most of the time it will be a running back. And I do think it's possible. I don't think it's likely, but that is kind of priced into these odds.
For sure.
The top 2 guys are going to be the top 2 guys in the fantasy draft that we spent a lot of time talking about. Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs. Personally, I would like Bijan more there, just because I think that Bijan is like kind of head and shoulders the best player on his offense, and his quarterback situation is a lot worse than Jahmyr Gibbs.
He could get a lot more credit for the success of the team.
I think I think that if the Falcons were to go out there and win like 12, 13 games, and Bijan Robinson puts up like over 2,000 total yards and like 20 touchdowns, especially, and the quarterbacks don't really do much, maybe they're even splitting time, I think you can make a solid case for Bijan at plus 9,000. Something you could bet, you could throw like $10 on to win. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's fun. I think that's fair, and I think that there's a world where that could happen. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think, would be a little harder to make it happen. There's a couple other guys we wrote down here. Puka being one. CMC, I think, is potentially possible. I think if it were to happen, it probably would have been like last year.
Right.
Same thing with Saquon. I think Saquon should have had a stronger case for it after his 2,000-yard season, to be honest. And then one last guy I wrote down that I thought was fun was Myles Garrett.
I mean, it's worth writing down. The only thing that's going to get in his way is how many other like MVP caliber players there are on the team, and they're on offense. But I mean, it's fun, and
he's the only defensive player that's probably worth consideration, really, at this point, right?
But I mean, if Aaron Donald comes back, I mean, it kind of all goes out the window. It's like,
I mean, it's very unlikely, but there's a world where like Matthew Stafford gets hurt potentially, or just falls off a cliff for whatever reason, which I doubt would happen. More of an injury situation. But
if you have a budget just to throw some money on some lottery tickets, really, I mean, $10 to win like 1,500 is like a fun.
I mean, even before the show, I think I mentioned like, if the Browns were to somehow have squeaked in the playoffs last year after Myles Garrett broke the NFL sack record, I mean, I think he would 100% been in consideration, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, if the Rams can kind of repeat what they did last year, without Matthew Stafford having a big season, and Myles Garrett goes out there and has another 20-plus sacks, that's like, it's unlikely, but consideration. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Never say never.
Yeah. Sometimes you could get a little throw a little money on it, and then towards the end of the year, it's getting kind of close. Maybe you get a little cash out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are always fun too.
That's definitely the play.
Definitely the play. I'd say there's like a 99% chance he doesn't win, but that's priced into this here. So
that's generous.
Yeah. Moving on to some other awards here. We could touch on maybe Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, two probably the next most popular ones, the ones that we all kind of expect. The guy who maybe should have won an MVP if it were a more evenly
This is
judged.
The best player that's not quarterback award, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Offensive Player of the Year, headlined by Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamar Chase, and Bijan Robinson, as it probably should be.
Yep, sounds awfully familiar.
Yeah.
The last couple episodes.
Yeah, seriously. I think that's fair. All those guys deserve to be there. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is easily the favorite, and I understand why, especially with no David Montgomery.
Right. So Gibbs is the favorite at plus 750. Jamar Chase and Bijan Robinson follow with 2 and 3 at plus 900. But yeah, just kind of as a starting spot, like it does kind of seem. I mean, Puka Nacua is next on the list, followed by McCaffrey. I feel like it's more of a four-headed, race.
Yeah, Puka should be in there too, for
rather
sure.
than just the three.
Same thing with CMC as well, but
a healthy CMC season definitely keeps him in there. But I mean, I was high on him last year, and I do respect how talented he is and how good he is at the game of football. But
CMC?
I'm starting to get skeptical about the
I am
his
for sure.
injury pattern.
Yeah, I'm very nervous about betting on CMC to do
Yeah,
that
I
again.
would not take that action.
Yeah, I see you got a star next to JSN though.
Yeah, I think
back
that,
to back.
It's similar to Daniels. I think that there's value, and kind of like what you said, like there might be a time where the cash out is the play, but I think that if JSN starts the season off well and has not necessarily a similar season to what he had last year, because that's really tough to expect. 1,800 yards and 15 touchdowns.
I don't even know, something crazy.
Lots of touchdowns.
Lots of touchdowns.
If he resembles that at all, I think that he could shoot up into the conversation of one of the front runners for this award. I mean, Shaheed is a great receiver, a good receiver within his role in that offense.
Rashid the Speed Shaheed.
That's right. And I mean, we know that their running back room is a split, and it seems like he is the guy there. So if that team can put up some points, I think that there's reason to believe that he could shoot up in the odds makers' eyes. But I think that would be something I'd want to cash out before it's all said and done.
That's fair. I think that I think that voter fatigue is real, and I just really don't expect a guy to go back to back, to be honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it. I definitely wouldn't leave the ticket in all season long. I like that one as like a stock.
Some of these next few guys, though, I definitely really like, that being Saquon and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, at the price of $1,400 too is a pretty juicy.
Yeah, I think Saquon. I think both those guys are really in a great position to have bounce back years. I kind of expect the Eagles to kind of lean more on the run game this year with their new offensive coordinator, having lost A.J. Brown. And Justin Jefferson might have, you can make a case that Kyler Murray is the best quarterback he's played with. It's close. I mean, I probably would maybe go with Kirk Cousins personally, but
yeah,
regardless,
a younger Kirk Cousins was good.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Yeah,
but regardless, a lot better than what he had last year for sure.
For sure.
And similar to what we talked about in the MVP, it's just like kind of like with Jane Daniels. After having a down year, expectations are a little lower, and then when you can kind of blow past those expectations, it just kind of looks a lot better, I think,
right.
like the perception wise.
Yeah, if you end relatively similar to a lot of the other top end players at the position, but are overcoming these expectations, it definitely.
Yeah, I mean, somebody that barely had 1,000 yards last year,
right.
I mean, I think I wouldn't. Is it crazy to say Justin Jefferson could go out there and have 1,600 yards and 12 touchdowns, and you know what I mean, and I think that that's very possible.
For sure.
And I like those odds for him a lot, honestly.
Don't care for Lamb so much, who's next on the list at 1,400. We've talked about it before a couple times with some of these draft rankings that George Pickens is.
Yeah, I just think there's too much.
Right, he's almost as much of a viable option for this award at that price as Lamb is, in my opinion. So, just probably staying away from that completely, not even thinking about it twice. And then Jonathan Taylor rounds out the top 10 at plus 1,800, which last year, halfway through the season, probably seemed like a lock for that award. But
yeah, I think that's pretty good value there, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, the issue is we don't really know if Daniel Jones is going to be back to start the season, but that could potentially, can make them lean on Jonathan Taylor a lot more earlier into the season. I think that he'll probably get some of the most volume in the NFL,
for sure.
really.
He'll see some loaded boxes, and teams will make it tough for him, but, I mean, that hasn't really stopped him in the past.
Weeks. We don't have any other guys written down here, but a couple guys that I think would be like fun dark horses, like James Cook is one for sure.
Yep.
He's put up some big years the past couple of years. Derrick Henry, you can never really count him out for sure.
That's a good one too.
And really dark horse, I would say either maybe Ladd McConkey or Marion Hampton. I just think that offense is really primed up for a big season with Mike McDaniels, and especially Ladd McConkey. I just don't think, especially with Keenan Allen not there, I just don't think that there's a lot of competition for targets.
Yeah, and I think he becomes the trustworthy guy, the guy they go to when they really, really need it.
I think that Ladd McConkey set up for a big season in year 3.
That's fun. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, I would be interested to see the odds on him for sure.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Defensive Player of the Year, though, it's Myles Garrett and a bunch of other guys.
Yeah. Myles Garrett by a lot.
And that's pretty much what it's going to be for a while, I feel like, and probably should be. But Micah Parsons is second?
Yes. It's tied for second with Max Crosby.
Isn't Micah Parsons supposed to miss like half the season?
Yeah. I mean, some books don't care.
Interesting.
2 through 4 here, 5 are all at the same price at plus 800. Micah Parsons, Max Crosby, Aiden Hutchinson, and Will Anderson Jr. You like any one of them over the rest?
I like Will Anderson Jr. I just think that he has a very strong case to be the best player on potentially the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think that alone will kind of give him, a good shot at it at least. I feel like, I guess I want to say like Max Crosby. It's like I don't really expect the Raiders defense to be that great, nor do I expect them to win a lot of games. But I guess not like the Browns defense was that great or they won a lot of games. But Myles Garrett is just different
for sure.
Nick Bonito is a good one too. But I think that. He's more of like a situational player if you really watch him. He's just like a pass rushing specialist.
I was kind of confused to see him this high.
He is somebody that could get 15 sacks and, wouldn't be shocking, but he just doesn't really offer a lot outside of that. Right. But, sometimes those high sack numbers is really all you need, honestly.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa, he hasn't really done a lot in the past few years. Going with another Bleck star, Jared Verse.
Yeah. Just swapping out for Myles Garrett, so what could go wrong?
Yeah,
no, but in all seriousness, we talked about it when we talked about the trade. Jared Verse himself is probably worth a first and a second. So, although they gave up more in the compensation when they gave up Myles Garrett to the Rams, I think that Jared Verse is kind of going into a spot now where he is like the premier defensive player on the team, where the team that he was coming from, he wasn't really the focal point of what was going on with the team.
They had more of like a bevy of pass rushers coming through rotation.
Right. So I think in this spot, maybe he gains a little bit more attention, a little bit more credit for what he's able to do, assuming he's able to, he's not going to put up Myles Garrett numbers, but if he puts up Jared Verse numbers, he'll get a little bit more credit and, respect for what he's able to do.
He's definitely an ascending player in his own role going into year 3. And, he'll get so many snaps on that defense, which will definitely add to his numbers. And that's fair. I do like these last two guys to round out the top 10, Brian Burns and TJ Watt.
Yeah.
TJ Watt's already won it before.
Right.
And he plays for the Steelers. I think that alone just kind of like he gives guys a boost.
Yeah.
Like you see a guy with the Steelers helmet on, you think defense, you think like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If TJ Watt can get healthy, he's definitely a good value here at plus, was that 1,400? I can't see.
Yeah, 1,400.
Yeah, and Brian Burns, he's an underrated guy, and the Giants defense has one of the best front sevens in the NFL. I know they lost Dexter Lawrence, but they still have a lot of guys up there, and he's another guy that could be pushing for 15 sacks. I think that's another good value there at the end of the top 10.
Yeah.
All things considered, though, I'm probably not betting on anybody that's not Myles Garrett. I'm not betting on Myles Garrett either.
I'm not touching.
What does that say?
Plus 425.
Oh, 425 is not that bad.
It's not that bad, but it's not that good.
Yeah. Black's handwriting is like so tiny. I thought that said plus 125, and I was like,
well, definitely not.
Yeah. But that's something I would stay away from. If I did want to pick a guy that wasn't Myles Garrett, it'd probably be Will Anderson.
Yeah.
But moving on to, what should we do, rookies?
Sure, yeah.
I think offensive rookie of the year is, I like rookie of the year. It's always fun. It's fun in every sport. Seeing it's like, I don't know, it's just kind of the next new guy in the league. It's fun.
For sure. And especially with like the offensive rookie of the years for like dynasty fans, like it's obviously something that we all very much are like in tune with. And
even in some of our leagues, I think there's like little bonuses if you draft like the offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year. It's something fun to keep an eye on, and it's just cool to see where the NFL is heading.
Right. Keeps you sharp on how next year might look even.
Yeah. Offensive rookie of the year. The favorite is Jeremiah Love. Do you agree?
Not really. I think
it's just because we don't know if Fernando Mendoza is going to play week 1.
Right, and even if he doesn't, I don't think that necessarily has to mean that he's out of the running for offensive rookie of the year. The difference in line for 1 and 2 for this award are actually pretty close. So Jeremiah Love is plus 290, Fernando Mendoza is plus 320. So it's only like a 30-cent difference on the dollar.
Last year, I can't even think.
Good question. We'll remember off
was it Tet? I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe Tet. Who knows? Either way, though, I would prefer Fernando Mendoza, but I just think that at these lines, you're probably best served for the value just going somewhere else. Probably one of these wide receivers on the list.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I probably would. I like Carnell Tate at third. It was at plus 650.
650.
Yeah. I think in a Brian Dable offense, if he becomes the focal point and Cam Ward can take a step in year 2. I love Carnell Tate there. I think that's a great pick.
I like that a lot too. 4 is Jordan Tyson at plus 850. But number 5, Mekhi Lemon at plus 950 is I think where I'd wanna lay mine down. Just stepping into a role. He's not going to be AJ Brown, but he's definitely a certain kind of wide receiver that can garnish a lot of attention in a brand new offense that will probably utilize whatever they can. And they have Saquon Barkley, who's probably going to lead to a couple extra stack boxes, give Mekhi Lemon a little bit extra space to do his work.
He's a playmaker and plays best with the ball in his hands. And I agree. I think in a good offense, too, where the guys get a little more attention and highlighted on the Eagles, you'll see a lot more of Mekhi Lemon, and I think that'll help as well as far as the national media's opinion.
For sure.
Because you're probably not going to be watching a lot of Titans games or Cardinals games.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or New Orleans
you'll probably be
games.
seeing a lot of Eagles games.
Yeah.
So
definitely going to see a lot of Eagles games.
Yeah, so I think that helps out a lot.
Yeah.
Jadarian Price is another interesting one, too, just because if he really is able to kind of run away with that backfield, not knowing what's going to happen with Zach Charbonnet, I think at plus 1,300, it's interesting to say the least, especially on a good offense. And if he can kind of earn like the goal line carries, he does have double-digit touchdown upsides, and I think that really bodes well. Long story short, though, I don't think I could take Jeremiah Love at those odds.
No,
I just don't think the volume is it's not enough for me.
Yeah, volume or not, I just don't really.
Also, they signed Tyler Algier too. It's like the last thing I want is a guy that's probably just gonna get his touchdown stolen anyways.
Right, and there's still a lot of fantasy owners holding out.
How many touchdowns are they scoring?
Right, and there's still a lot of fantasy owners holding out on Trey Benson too, who probably won't get any kind of burn, but they did still. They signed Tyler
more
Algier.
about James Conner and Tyler Algier. Yeah,
James Conner is another name I needed to remember.
Yeah. Moving to the end of the list, though, some of those other first-round wide receivers: Casey Concepcion, Omar Cooper. Not bad. If you want to take like a dart throw at plus 2,000, plus 2,200.
Extra juiced. I can't help but think these. I mean, there's a reason they're plus 2,000 and greater. They're just not on teams that we expect to be good, and not that this award has to go to a team that is good.
I do think it's interesting that Casey Concepcion steps into potentially like a wide receiver one role. If you are a Shedeur Sanders truther or, God forbid, a Deshaun Cosby truther, maybe you think that there's a good enough quarterback there to feed the ball to Casey Concepcion, and at plus 2,000, it's not the worst. I would rather bet on Casey Concepcion at plus 2,000 than take Jeremiah Love at plus 2,000.
Oh yeah, but I mean, yeah.
I mean, I'm probably not taking him, but I mean, I don't think it's the worst, to be honest, just given the odds.
Yeah. Omar Cooper Jr. just slightly more, kind of a similar situation. I don't really expect Geno Smith to feed a rookie. I mean, granted,
better quarterback situation, but just less opportunity.
Better wide receiver room situation, but like you said, less opportunity.
Yeah.
Like Garrett Wilson's going to out catch him. Like,
especially
without
given
a doubt.
The next guy on the list here.
Right, Kenyon Sadiq at number 9 at plus 2,500.
Over Omar Cooper.
Right, but at the tight end position, it's not surprising that he slots in behind Omar Cooper Jr. on this list. But yeah, still.
Yeah, because tight ends rarely win that. Yeah.
And like we mentioned before, when they drafted Kenyon Sadiq, they have another tight end that is very young,
Mason Taylor,
talented.
They have a lot of good weapons, a lot of good young weapons, really on offense. We've said it before on the show. I really do like where the Jets have set themselves up for, and they're really just that quarterback away from kind of just being relevant, honestly, for what first time in what feels like forever.
And good work on them preparing for it. Trading away Sauce Gardner definitely helps them. They have an extra first round pick going into next year.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe 2. I don't know.
Defensive Rookie of the Year. What do you think about this? It's a tough one. It's a really tough one to gauge.
Yeah, I feel like this one is like probably most. I don't know. It's so hard to figure out like.
I'm having such a hard time. I know Jared Verse won it 2 years ago. Carson Schlesinger won it last year, I think.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
That sounds about right.
It does.
Okay. I feel like it's generally like a linebacker that wins it, unless there's like a guy that comes in and just has like a lot of sacks right away.
Yeah. Or a lot of picks right away.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of last time like a DB won it, but I know that has happened before, 100%. Top of the list is David Bailey, probably somebody that maybe is expected to have a lot of sacks. Second overall.
Definitely expected to have a lot of opportunity, so
yeah,
I think that goes in hand with where his odds are. Like you said, 2 overall. Like he's put in a position to perform, so it's balls in his court at that point.
Yeah, I agree. If he can go out there and have like 8, 9, 10 sacks, I think that is why he's priced where he's at. I don't love it personally. I don't see it.
Yeah.
Ruben Bain plus 550. I think that's an interesting one for Tampa Bay. I think he is put in a good position right away to potentially get a lot of sacks in a pass rusher role. Again, though, I'm probably staying away from that. I do like these next few guys here, though. Arvel Reese at plus 750, and the Bleck star, Caleb Downs, plus 850. Let's hear it.
This one's going to fall a little bit more into the Jane Daniels and JSN conversations, where I don't think I want to keep it the whole season, partially because
cash out strategy.
Yeah, the cash out strategy. Okay. But playing in Dallas on a team that will probably be looking to give someone credit for an improved pass defense.
Somebody that was considered at some certain points in the offseason, like the best player in the draft.
Right,
really.
Right. Top 10 lock, and he ends up going 11.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that he becomes such a undeniable presence on a better, pass defense when like there was nowhere else to go but up for that pass defense. That by year's end, he's probably one of the 2 or 3 favorites. So if you're sitting in that spot at plus 850, that becomes a lot. It becomes a nice little cash out if you play your cards right.
Yeah, I mean, if he can kind of be one of those, this is like new age safeties that we've seen with like, I think Derwin James kind of started it, and then we see like Kyle Hamilton. There's some other guys now. Nicky Monwari, another one. These kind of like larger, just like freak athlete safeties that can just kind of line up anywhere, whether that's inside, at slot, in the box, or play back deep at safety.
You give credit to Derwin James, but wasn't that like kind of like a Palomalo? Is Palomalo maybe the first one that did that?
Yeah, I would say so. I think Palomalo.
I don't know why it popped into my head at this point, but that's just kind of.
For whatever it's worth, I think Palomalo is more of like one of like the most high IQ players of all time. Like he was just so instinctual and just could like read like. Right. Plays just at a level that we haven't really seen since.
He was in unusual spots because he knew the play was going to that spot.
Yeah, I think that it was more of like he was just like a freak like IQ and instinctual, whereas these guys are just like huge like athletes. Like I mean, Derwin James is like 6'3", like 220, like you know what I mean.
Right.
But yeah, I mean. When we're talking about best safeties ever, Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed, for sure that era was a lot different.
Yeah.
More of these like this like Swiss Army knife, like almost like linebacker size safeties that we're seeing now. I think that Caleb Downs is a guy that could get up to like 100 tackles and still have like 4 or 5 interceptions potentially. So I do like the value there. I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. A guy that I really like is definitely Sonny Styles.
Yeah, that's. I think that's where my real heart lies. I think he's got the best chance to actually win the award.
Filling in for Bobby Wagner on that Commanders defense and just the kind of athlete that he is. Yeah. I mean, I think that he could. He could touch 150 tackles this year, and it wouldn't really surprise me. If you throw in a couple picks, a couple sacks, especially like some memorable splash plays, he would be my. I probably am gonna throw him on like a small lay or something like that because I really like those odds a lot for Sonny Styles.
Yeah, it's plus 850, tied with Caleb Downs and Mansour Delane, which I don't think we really need to talk much about. I don't expect the.
Yeah, shutdown corners just don't get the love that they probably deserve to.
Right, because they don't get the attention. I mean, they not. Like media attention, but on the field, like
guys
they just don't get targeted.
Yeah, exactly. If the best corners are the guys you don't hear about. You know what I mean?
Put up no stats.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you don't hear the corner's name the entire game, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Rounding out the rest of it though, Akeem Mesidor for the Chargers. You talked about him a bunch. CJ Allen, I think that's another one that potentially, given his role on that defense for the Colts, I think that could be good value as well.
Sure.
Dylan Thieneman, my guy.
Bear down.
That'd be sick if he just came out right away and had like 6 picks or something like that. That'd be awesome. Not banking on it though.
No.
Malachi Lawrence is another guy too that is like a valid dark horse. I just think that the hole that Micah Parsons opened up on that defense and them taking him in the first round. Wasn't my favorite prospect necessarily. He was kind of a late riser going into the draft process, but if he's someone that can come in and get close to double-digit sacks, depending on what the rest of the field does, I think the value there at the end of the top 10 isn't too bad. What does that say? 2,000, 2,200? I can't
2,500. 2,500. Yeah. Lots of juice.
Yeah, if you're down in Texas and you can bet on that, throw $10 on it. Have fun.
Yeah.
And some other awards though. Before we move on to some divisions here, we have Comeback Player of the Year and Coach of the Year. What do you want to start with?
I mean, we can start and end with Comeback Player of the Year real fast because it's such a uniquely like narrative-driven award.
I'm surprised didn't have Mahomes play like 12, 13 games last year?
Yeah, but who won it last year?
They're
like I don't know. I feel like there was a year that Joe Flacco should have won it or something, and then they gave it to somebody else. I don't know. It's just it's such a.
All I know is DeMar Hamlin was robbed.
Yes, I think they gave it to Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
That's what happened.
He coming off the couch, that was his comeback.
Yeah,
just
came back from retirement.
Yeah. So just a totally narrative-driven award, I think. Very little analysis that you can do to try to figure out who is actually going to be considered for the award. It's really more based on their story. Than
just
their
looking
stats.
at this, Pat Mahomes is plus 125, and all the next guys are in the thousands.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's kind of Pat Mahomes' award to lose.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I didn't think he would really qualify given how many games he played last year, and I'm just not really being that good even when he was playing. But
they shut him down for the end of the year, right? So
he tore his ACL.
Right. Well,
yeah.
Just missing out on the end of the year like that, I think qualifies him for it. But
Kyler Murray at plus 1,000 is cool though. I think that's something that is very possible.
Yeah, similar though. He played during the beginning of the season, and they kind of shut him down.
Yeah, he wasn't playing very good though.
Right,
He's just kind of been, the Cardinals went sour on him.
Right.
He's definitely more of a comeback guy for me in my eyes. I would say
if that's how you want to, define comeback.
Yeah, it's a weird award.
Yeah.
Touching on some of the coach of the years before we move on really fast. John Harbaugh, the favorite, and I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Jesse Minter at plus 600, that's interesting.
Yep.
Robert Saleh plus 1,000. Yeah, if you could turn that team around in 1 year, that's valid.
In that division, I think he's got the best chance to maybe win it, given the talent around them, the other teams in the division. But I guess the Giants are a little bit more favored to win their division in the fourth spot.
I do like these NFC South guys, though.
Yeah.
Kellen Moore and Kevin Stefanski. I feel like winning your division goes a long way, and that division's just kind of up in the air, and both of those teams are kind of on the up and up, in my opinion. I like Kevin Stefanski, I really do. And Kellen Moore has been doing a good job. I think he's a little underrated. And if Tyler Shuck can really continue to progress, and given what they've added on offense, Jordan Tyson, Bryce Lance, Travis Etienne, some of the offensive line players, Oscar Delp, I think that team could make that step, and if they do that this season, I think that Kellen Moore does deserve consideration.
Yeah, based on just the track history of the NFC South and the division winners record hasn't necessarily been impressive. But I think if one of these guys win the division with 12, maybe 13 wins somehow.
Yeah, if any of those guys win 12, 13 games, for sure. I could see those guys winning 11 games and still being in consideration 100%.
For sure.
And then shout out the Bleck star real fast.
Joe Brady. That's more of a homer thing than anything else. But
no bias.
Yeah, no bias. But yeah, just coming into a situation where he's never been a head coach in the league. And
first year coach, and it was a questionable move at the time, whether that was what people were questioning here in Buffalo or just around the country, really.
I vividly remember my first instinct not being favorable to it at all.
Same. I definitely felt the same way. I got over it pretty quickly the more I thought about it, but
the more the story developed, as he filled out the rest of his roster, it started to make more sense, and keeping Bean made more sense, and it all just came together in a better way than how I think it was going to.
I do think the only way Joe Brady wins is if the Bills win the 1 seed, though.
Yeah.
Because the Bills are already a 12, 13
I think that's in play.
Win team. Yeah, for sure. It's
if he comes in with a fresh...
The Bills lose. If the Bills only win 10, 11 games and still make the playoffs, that's not good.
No, not good. No.
But if this team is better than the Bills team we've seen in the past couple of years, because maybe we're a little more aggressive on both sides of the ball, and
something fresh,
a little better with time management potentially, clock management,
timeout management,
things like that, and we can kind of get over that hump and get that 1 seed, get home field advantage. I think that Joe Brady would definitely be strongly considered 100%.
Funny that could all happen with just a better defense, and then Joe Brady still gets the credit for it. So we'll see how that see how it pans out.
Exactly. And then we're going to touch on some divisions here. I love division parlays. Those are the best ones.
Yeah, we're going to have to revisit. I don't know if we have enough time.
Yeah, seriously. I put in a bunch of those every year. I haven't done any yet this season, but I definitely will sooner than later.
Yeah.
Just looking really fast. I'm definitely going to take some action on one of those NFC South teams, whether that's the Saints or the Falcons or both, honestly.
Yeah, they both have pretty low win totals on the year, which, like I said, the NFC South's track record has been pretty low lately. But
the Panthers won the division 8-9 last year, I think.
Yeah.
So, I definitely like the Saints plus 265 here. I think that's good odds. I know we talked about it earlier in the show. The Bears at plus 300, 305?
Plus 305 now, yeah. I should have waited.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely going to get some action on that.
I do have a little bit of action in already, and I did take Bears at 300. It doesn't make sense that 12-win reigning division champions are third favorites to win their division. I don't really care. There's no reason for them to regress. Everybody's young. The coach is still relatively new. I'm not understanding.
I do like the Texans at plus 110 in the AFC South.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of the Jaguars. I don't know what's going on with Daniel Jones, and the Titans just are a year away still.
Yeah.
And the Texans' defense is just so good. And I think DeMeco Ryans is a good coach.
Yeah, I want to be on the Titans at plus 800, but it's just that's a lottery ticket. That's not something I'm expecting to win, and that's not really something
I just think they're a year away still for me personally.
Yeah.
Looking at the AFC East, Bills minus 125. They're the biggest favorite to win their division?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Not by a lot. Ravens are a close second.
Yeah. I'm throwing Bills minus 125 on every lay.
Yeah,
for sure.
Much. Patriots are second at plus 120, and then you can forget about the Jets and Dolphins.
What are the Dolphins?
Dolphins are plus 4,000.
Plus 4,000.
Plus 4,000.
Talk about a lottery ticket.
Jonathan Taylor is more likely to win Offensive Player of the Year.
As he should.
This is a really random name to pull out of the hat, but literally all of the players we mentioned for MVP are more likely to win MVP.
As they should be.
Yes.
I think
Dolphins have the second lowest win total on the board.
4.5?
4.5.
Who's worse, Cardinals?
You betcha.
Yeah, 3.5?
3.5, yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Under 3.5 is plus. You might want to think about that.
I would strongly consider.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to win a divisional game, that's for sure.
Bijan is more likely to win MVP than the Cardinals are to win their division.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I would 100% bet on Bijan to win MVP before I bet on the Cardinals to win the division.
Kind of jumping all over the place.
Unless Carson Beck.
But yeah, the NFC West is nice and competitive. There's some fun lines in there.
Yeah, there's some tough ones to bet. Like the NFC West is one I'd have a hard time betting on, one way or the other. How do you not take the Rams, though, with now adding Myles Garrett, honestly?
Rams at plus 100 to win their division. Seahawks at plus 205. 49ers at plus 305. All of them viable. All relative, all one game apart with their win totals.
Yeah, I'd have to take a look at the schedules, but even then, that's something I'm probably staying away from.
It is a fun division to kind of rack your brain with whenever you take a look at some of these numbers, because it's almost like they're going to end up at these win totals, but just mixed around. Like one of these teams will jump and one of them will fall, and it's definitely the funnest division I think to play around with.
It's the most competitive division outside the Cardinals, really.
Yeah.
How unfortunate for Arizona. I mean, just given all the circumstances and then just what they have to deal with in their division, it's like
6 times a year.
I can almost see no way out for them.
No, yeah.
It's actually sad.
Yeah.
That sucks. AFC West is another fun one, though. Chiefs and Chargers, top two. Plus 160 Chiefs favored to win, and plus 190 Chargers just slightly right behind.
Yeah, and not even that much further behind the Chargers are the Broncos at plus 225.
Yeah, that's a tight race, and it should be. Broncos won last year, I believe, right?
Yes, they did.
Then the Chargers were second, and the Chiefs finished third after a down year and Pat Mahomes getting injured. I'm surprised the Chiefs are favorited. I think they're getting a little more name value than they should really at that spot. And I would probably rather take the Chargers or the Broncos, to be honest with you. I'd probably lean Chargers. I think that they just added a little more, and then they probably have a slightly easier schedule, having finished second in the division rather than the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos do add Jalen Waddle, which definitely helps with their offense.
That is true. That is very true.
Yeah, I think that with the addition of Mike McDaniel, I think that there's a lot of excitement.
It's one of the biggest additions of the offseason, honestly.
Across the league, for sure.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That'll be a tough one. Probably one I would stay away from. Without even, really thinking about it too much, if I had to go up with a little lay off the top of my head here, just looking, I'd probably take the Bills to win the AFC East, minus 125. I probably would take the Texans to win the AFC South, plus 110. And I would take the Bears to win the NFC North at plus 305. And I would take the Saints at plus 265, I think, to win the NFC South.
All in one parlay?
I think I would do that.
Might as well.
Off the top of my head, just looking at it, I think I feel confident enough in those teams. And I like having 2 AFC and 2 NFC teams, because sometimes when you jam together too many teams on one side, it gets really murky at the end of the year with your playoff race. And you might have a team eliminating another team. You know what I mean?
Right. As for me, early look ahead, like I mentioned, I took the Bears to win their division at plus 300. And I did also already put in a little two-legger, Bills and Rams to win their divisions. And that comes out to about plus 260. So
that's fair.
Not a ton of juice, but kind of like you said, even less teams in the way of each other. I know they'll play each other once this year, but it's just two teams looking to win some divisions. That's all I'm looking for.
No, that's fair, totally. That's like a nice chill one. I'd feel pretty confident and safe in.
Yeah.
With these like futures, they're such like long-term bets in comparison to a lot of the other maybe like bets we make throughout the season. So I like to like have a little fun and just kind of gamble a little bit there. Throw like 10 Bleck units on a long shot. But kind of see how it goes towards the end of the year. Maybe you get a little cash out, depending how it's looking.
Play the cash outs.
Or you could hedge too, you got it's like I just need this team to win this game, to win their division, to hit. And it's like, let me just hedge a little bit there. I've done that plenty of times.
Yeah, and just for the sake of saying it, just be responsible. Don't go crazy. Put this money as an escrow essentially. So you don't see it, you don't touch it. Unless you're cashing out.
You don't even think about it.
You don't even think about it. But just don't go overboard. Play within your limits.
Responsibly.
Yeah.
What's the legal limit? Is it 18 or 21?
We'll just 18, 21.
Let's do 21 to be safe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Being safe. Either way. We have a disclaimer before the show on the radio, but I don't think we have one on YouTube yet. So just don't come for us.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not even using money. We're using Bleck units.
Yeah,
so.
Which is pennies.
Less than. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here shortly. This was a fun show, though. I do like talking about all these awards and just things to keep an eye on. It's always interesting, and it'll be fun after the season to kind of take a look back at this and see how all this turned out.
Or just burn the tape.
Yeah, or just delete this and never talk about it again. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
As always, thanks for listening, and go Bills.
Go Bills.